Well, good morning and welcome to the first edition of the 2023-2024 season Referees Corner right here on IslandStats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is none other than Majenza Rasek, who I want to say congratulations on your performance at the Under-20 World Cup. And thank you personally for helping out Bermuda Football Association in a time of need when we need officials. You've put your hand up and come to help. But let's talk a little bit about. We last spoke in June of last year, and then you done the World Cup in August. Take us through that experience for yourself.
Good morning. Yes, indeed, we spoke. I think it was last year. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, also it was a great experience because I went to the U20 World Cup, and after that U17, and then I did the final in the U17, and then I was nominated to go to the Senior World Cup. So for me, it was an honor to do like 3 World Cups within 1 year, and yeah, and also to represent the Caribbean, myself and my country. So it was a great experience.
So let me ask you, because you're a part of a team. Whenever you go to do a match, you're a part of a team, the officiating team.
Yes.
So is it pressure on the officiating team? When I say pressure, do you guys feel pressure like we have to perform well all the time? We have to do our best all the time. I mean, football's about mistakes. Players give up the ball and so forth, but the officials kind of are told you can't make a mistake. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how much pressure do you put on yourself to ensure that every call you're making in your mind is the correct call?
So it's more like yes, we are putting pressure on ourselves because there is always a saying that say they're gonna remember you for your last game. So it doesn't matter which game you did before, either you did a final or semi-final, but you have to perform at the next game also. You have to keep up the same pace. So yes, we are putting pressure on ourselves, and during the training, that's why it's so important to train yourself mentally, not only physical but also mental. So we are doing that, and for sure we are human, so we make mistakes. But the goal is not to make a blunder or to make a big mistake or a serious incident. So that's the goal. So you will make some small mistakes. You will never have a 100% game without one small thing, but the goal is to not make blunders or serious errors in a game that cause the game to lose, that cause the team to lose, or that you decide the game. So we don't want to decide the game. The players are playing. We're trying to make the right call. That's the goal.
Mm. So how much support are you getting from Suriname? Your home country.
I get support from my colleagues, also from the federations. My head of referee is trying to do the best that he can, and for sure there are small things that they need to change, but I think that in the future they will change that.
Yeah, yeah. And what is it like officiating in a country like Suriname?
Yes, we don't have much female referees, so it is a big thing as a female referee when going to a senior World Cup. I mean, all the 3 different World Cup, 2 Youth World Cups, and a senior World Cup. So it's like I'm the face of Suriname, and I have to help the others and help to bring more females referees into our referee team in Suriname.
Sure. When you were asked to assist in Bermuda, um, what was it something you had to think about, or was okay? I'll do it.
I said, right away, I will do it. I will do it because I like to give back, and my feelings were not wrong. I came here and I get the best. How you call it? Treatment.
Treatment, yeah.
Yeah.
how have players and officials been to you, towards you while you've been here officiating?
The people are lovely. During the games, for sure, there are emotions always, not only in Bermuda, everywhere you have emotions coming from players, coming from the stand, so that's okay. But after the game, we are fine.
Uh,
Yes.
well, we're about to be joined by the head of refereeing in Bermuda, Mr. Cranston Williams. Mr. Williams, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Biz, and then Miss Magentia Wrench, World Cup referee visiting Bermuda. How you doing?
Yes, yes. I just
Okay.
finished asking her about when the offer was made to officiate in Bermuda. Was it one of the things she jumped right to? So, like others, I mean, when the offer's made, I mean, they're willing to help, and her reply was that she loves to give back, and to have a World Cup official officiating in Bermuda. You know what I mean? I think you posted on your Facebook page history again. To have a World Cup official officiate in little small Bermuda. How big is that for the how big is that for the country, and do people realize how big something like that is?
Um, if I'm gonna be honest, I've been chasing Magentia for a while. I've heard her name. I think it was 2017, if I'm correct. So Sean and Antoine went to the tournament in Orlando at the time, and they came back and they were raving about this person. So this is the first time I've met her, but we've had several conversations. So I
Mhm.
never asked her, but I realized this is a very busy individual. And so this time I said no, since Carrie came, and then we also had Ishmael and Corey. They actually won the also in the World Cup finals. They didn't come to officiate. They came and shared that knowledge with our referees. I said, well, I'm going after Mayancha because she's from Suriname, but so I said, let's see what can happen. So this time she agreed. No, I don't think people really understand the magnitude of what's happening because somehow or the other people just think referees are robots and they're just there to do a job and they're supposed to do it. So like even yesterday when I was telling people that that's a World Cup referee on the field, they're like, really? Nah, I said, okay, go research it. We think I'm talking nonsense. And afterwards they were like, wow, asked me how did I pull it off. And I just said, well, one thing, if you know me well enough, I don't take no for an answer. So it's just a matter of also, um, I think for me, she'll be a good inspiration to the younger, especially our female referees, because we have
Mhm.
Natasha, Satya, you have Alana, Stacy, and then you also have our youngsters such as Daly, Antoinette, Jaye, Emily. So for me, well, we were supposed to have a training session yesterday, but unfortunately, due to the weather, we couldn't do it because the field was kind of flooded, which I
Mhm.
know they would have enjoyed. But for me, she's an inspiration. So I'm trying to also work with others that have been to World Cup finals. I'm sure you know how I don't stop. So hopefully
Yes.
you'll come as well. And I've told her now that she's been here, she has an open invitation. I don't need to say. She just needs to tell me when she's available if they can. So yeah, that's where it is.
So Magenta, let me ask you, the obviously the higher the stakes, the more pressure it is for the players. And what would you say the tempo at the under 17 World Cup was like, as opposed to the tempo at the Women's World Cup?
So it is, yes, it is a difference because some of the U17 players, they are in the stage where they are gaining the experience,
Mhm.
but at the senior World Cup they already have the experience. So that's the difference. The speed is higher, the tactics are faster, so there is a difference. Yeah.
Mm. And are you officiating in men's games in Suriname as well?
Yes, I only do men's game because our women's league in Suriname is not that the it is not that on a high level. So
Mhm.
I have to keep up with men's game to keep up with the international games. Otherwise, I will be slow. And every time I come back from international games, I will come back to a lower level, and that's not healthy for
Yeah.
my career. So I have to do men's game to keep up with my fitness and also the knowledge of the love of the game.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because um, clearly the men's game is just a little faster, and that would
Yes.
help with fitness and so
Ye-
forth. But Cranston, for someone like Majenza who's been on the island, who the ladies you just named off as an inspiration for, what are some of the things that you would hope that seeing Majenza, having an opportunity to speak with her, would rub off on some of these young ladies?
First, for me, it's her work ethic, because she does the men's fitness test and she passes it.
Oh.
So that in itself for me is huge. We know, and I'm very transparent. The fitness test is our kryptonite here in Bermuda. People are fit, but I think, as Majenza said, it's a mental thing.
Yes.
And so that's the main thing for me that I hope would rub off, and also just how she warms up, her professionalism. Like when she went to a game, I went to collect her, and she came with everything, and I was like, I thought she was leaving. I said, wait a minute, you changed the ticket on me or something? I didn't know. You know what I mean? It was just her preparation. I was like, wow. And, they have to see her warm up, with Amari and Randy. I was just standing there amazed. Like, Steph has been here before, other ARs from CONCACAF, but her one, I was just like, okay, she's in a different category. So that's the main thing I think I'm hoping to rub off from there for me.
And Majenza, what do you think was impressive enough for you to have the opportunities to do 3 World Cups in 1 year?
I think the first thing, my belief. Second thing, I think, the way I am, open. I'm always open for advice. And when I get the advice, I work on it. I let them see that I work on the advice they give me. So I think those are the main things, and also my performance, of course, fitness, performance, showing that I improve when they give me the point of improvements. I show them that I work on it, and they can see it back in the game. So when they can see that you can improve, I think you have more chances, because then you are definitely for the future.
Sure. One of the most controversial things going on in football right now is obviously the VAR decisions. And at the level of the Women's World Cup, you're going to have that.
Yes.
There's other eyes, but sometimes there's other eyes unbelievably make a different decision. So what's your feeling on the usage of VAR for this sport?
For this
For
football, I think it's a good idea, because as you just said, that we only have 2 eyes, and it's difficult to see some situations to make the right decision. So that's why we have VAR, and that's why we don't have VAR for everything. They can come in just for four things. So, and these 4 things are really important for the game. So it's for me, it's a good thing, because we don't have that much eyes. We have 2 eyes. So with the help of the VAR, the game has a how you call it? No, it's like a fair. They have a fair chance, because if the referee, if the referee can see something and they missed it, and this was, for example, a penalty, and then on the other side they score a goal, then it's not fair for the other team. But now we have VAR who can come in and help the referee to have a chance to see this situation again and make a right call. Then it's fair for the game. So that's why for me, I like it. Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Williams, we always talk about this. It's the plea for help. Clearly, we see the struggle of officials this year. If one goes to multiple games on a weekend, they'll see the same people doing multiple games. And I know you've been arguing and championing and calling for, as well as others. We don't ask the players to play 90 minutes 2 days in a row, but we're asking officials to officiate 90 minutes 2 days in a row. There's got to be some way to get some more extended hands on that.
I've said it numerous times, and I'll say it again on this show. We have 19 clubs. If each club gives me 2 persons to get trained to become referees, that's 38 people. my refereeing dilemma is over. It's just that simple. But most people don't want to take up the challenge. They prefer to sit on the sideline and criticize. And I'm solution based, and I say to people that criticize, okay, well, I have gear, I have a whistle, I have flags, I have cards. Anytime you're ready, just complete the registration form. As a matter of fact, we'll fast track you since you clearly have an excellent knowledge of the game. So just let me know when you're ready. And when I say that, then it's like, oh no, I'm good. And the unfortunate thing this year, it seems as if the abuse is becoming more and more rampant, and it's even trickling down into the youth leagues, where I've had issues of adults using profanity to youth referees, under 9, under 11s, which is not competitive football. People are shouting at the youngsters, where the youngsters now are saying basically they don't want to officiate anymore. So I've tasked the youth committee and others to say, hey, we need to get a hold of this and sort it out quickly. Otherwise, a Sunday might come where we just won't have anybody showing up to officiate. Because I find it amazing that people can criticize or chastise youth officials, but then on a Saturday when there isn't any assigned, because we don't have any, they're quick to say the BFA is not doing the job. And so for me, I'm all about trying to get more people, but at the same time, the abuse seems to be the main deterrent for people. So we're trying to have a different approach. Like we're going to start what I call a road show. We're going to be going to different clubs probably on a Friday evening or Saturday, where we have referees coming and just talking to people, and hopefully in a different setting they might agree to it. And they're also going to start doing a lot more publicity on social media. So I'm working with the marketing committee to get that resolved. But yeah, it's a struggle this year. It's really a struggle, because even for premiership matches right now, we have maybe 5 referees, that center referees. So I'm sure you've seen we had to go young. I have an 11-year-old that does assistance AR. I have a 12-year-old who I'm sure this particular 12-year, he wants to be in the middle. But I tell him, no, I can't put you in the middle of the first division game. I shouldn't say I can't. I'm pretty sure he would handle himself, but it's just because of his age. And, I don't want him to get deterred, even though I know this one he won't. But at the same time, it's just like, no, let's, preserve him later on. And then you have others that are 15, 16 who are going to eventually put in the middle because they've been doing youth games and they're ready. But my biggest thing is how do people react to them? So, a situation where if I know that they're on a game somewhere, I have to go as, extra security per se, because, some clubs are fine. They'll see the youngsters and they'll be like, okay, guys, look, we have youngsters on the line. So we have to, and they'll protect them. But other clubs, they don't care. They just want to say what they want to say and that's it. But it's a challenge. And yes, I've gotten to the point where I've said, you know what, I'm washing my hands and want to walk away. But of course, then you have the youngsters that show up, or somebody like Mimi that shows up in Bermuda, and she just talks to me and is like, no, you can't go, you gotta stay, you gotta this, you gotta that. And I'm like, okay, I'll hang around a little longer, you know what I mean? So, but it does become very frustrating because I've been singing this, I don't know, for what, 10, 12 years, and it's like this seems to be the worst it's been. And unfortunately, because a lot of our senior referees are elder statesmen and women, so things creep in and people don't recover as fast, and then ask them to do 2 games in a weekend. It's like, okay, but then it becomes, oh, such and such is walking, he's not keeping up with play, or she's not keeping up with play. And I have to remind people, that particular person just did 90 minutes. Now they're doing the second 90 minutes to make sure your game is not rescheduled. So while I understand your frustration, think about it. If you had to go back out there for another 90 minutes, would you keep up with play for another 90 minutes?
Well, the BFA would get called so many names if they had to play on a Saturday night and then come back and play on a Sunday.
But they expect the referees to do it. And that's the mindset I always think that needs to change. People need to be a little more understanding. I'm not saying that the referees are perfect. I'm not saying they get all the calls correct. However, fatigue will set in, and we need to understand that. And I tell people, normally a person that does a game, first game, the 90 minutes, fatigue can set in around between the 60th and the 70th minute. It's just a given.
Yeah. And of course, with the conditions that we had this weekend, it's bound to happen. Legs are going to get heavy because it's been raining. The fields are now heavy. It becomes an extra task, sort of thing. Mackenzie, do you have a similar problem in Suriname with officials, lack thereof?
If they, sorry?
Do you have this similar problem in Suriname where you lack officials?
If that I left officials on the field?
Yeah. Are you shortage of officials in Suriname?
No, we still have officials, maybe not all of them are the same level, but we have the only thing that we don't have is women's women's match officials. We don't have a lot. We have like 5,
Mm.
and in the 5, only one central, and the other ones 2 new one, and me and another colleague that's also FIFA referee. So,
Oh,
but we have, but not everyone is at the same level, and then sometimes we're running short for referees that has to officiate as the top division, because not
mm.
everyone is at the same page.
Yeah, yeah. Well, again, Magenza, I want to thank you for assisting the Bermuda Football Association and Bermuda Football, as well as assisting our fellow officials in giving them someone to look up to, being on the side, being able to reach out and talk and, get advice and so forth. I want to thank you for being that open person, because as we've had more people such as yourself on the island, I think that helps to expand our knowledge of the game and shows you um, getting to a World Cup isn't that far away if we could sit and have a chat with you,
Yes.
who just recently done a World Cup. So it's all there for you if you want, if that's what you want. And having the opportunity to sit here and chat with you, I can see that confidence right away, in the ability to go further than what many would have thought you would have been able to do.
Yes, that's true. I want to thank Mr. Chris and you also for the invitation. And I also came because I know the person you are, and there is not much people like you fighting for referees, fighting for football, has love for the game, and try the best to do the best they can for the referees. So that was one of my biggest thing to support you also, because the support I see you giving the referees, trust me, there are not much head of referees that are doing this. So that is one of my thing. When he asked me, I couldn't come right away, but as I give right away an answer, yes, I'm able, and I will always help, support whenever I can. I will always help and support. So
There
thank
you
you very
go.
much, Mr. Williams, and also thank you very much
Not a
for
problem.
the invitation to for this interview.
Right on.
Not a problem.
Well, Mr. Williams, we'll be in touch to see who we can have next week this time. Oh, actually, it's a holiday in Bermuda next week, so we'll do it on the Tuesday. How's
Not a
that?
problem. All right, that's
Okay.
fine. Thank you, sir.
Magenza,
Appreciate it.
safe journey.
You have a-
Thank you very much. Mr.
Thank
Williams, enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Have a good one.
All right.
All right.